Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm John Gray, and we're just plain living.
Good morning, John. I love what you've done here.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, it looks like Halloween.
My sister-in-law, Candy. She had that box over. That's an old box that was full of tools.
I love these little guys.
That was at Couch's.
Yeah.
And she brought those pumpkins
That's really
over
pretty.
here, and I had some other stuff, and we put it together, and it just means fall, and fall's here.
And in case you don't know, I'm Peggy Burton. I'm glad to be alive at this stage of the game.
I'm glad you're here.
But it's so pretty outside. I hope everybody's getting out there and enjoying it.
Well, you know, last week was just almost flawless.
Exactly.
And this week is going to be the same way.
I know, it's beautiful.
You know, we always have about 2 weeks in the spring and in the fall when it's like this.
It's
a
kind of
little
like
bit cool.
a little bit of paradise.
A little bit of paradise.
Yeah.
That's
I
why
love
they're
it.
all coming.
But I love these colors. It looks great.
Colors are wonderful. And you know, when we lived down on South Washington Street, we lived in a little house right next to the Episcopal Church.
Yeah.
And across the street there were 3 maple trees, and they were all, one of them was yellow, one of them was orange, and the other one was red.
Oh, wow.
And I could just walk out every morning and look over there, and I just went, God, how beautiful is
Another
this?
beautiful street is, I know that Farm Bureau Insurance is on that street, and it's going down there close to where Big Lots is. But I always love passing those trees.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll make a special turn just to get down that road. And I have a lot of pretty trees coming up.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a lot of trees. I woke up this morning thinking I got to do
They're
something
not
about all
coming
these
down,
trees.
are they?
They're closing in on me is what they're doing. I got to call Browns and get on it.
Brownie will take care of you. There's no doubt about that.
He will.
He's saved me many times. Well, what's going on? What's going on around?
What's going on
I
around?
feel like I've been busy, so busy.
Well, I was thinking, we talk about the football team a lot, but I was noticing in the paper this week, we have a lot of girls doing a lot of sports that are winners.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sorry I can't call everybody's name, but I'm real proud of them as well. Seems like we have a lot of wonderful sports teams in this community.
We have some great girls in cross country and in track.
And soccer.
And soccer, volleyball.
Volleyball, yeah.
You know, the girls volleyball team, and we have a great, you don't realize, I think there's one little girl that was a national champion in archery.
That's interesting.
And we have a lot of girls on the fishing team.
Yeah.
You know, Title IX, y'all come on. Get in there and do good.
Let the girls be glorified a little bit.
Well, and you know, I think you know, I look back, and I might be wrong because that it's a long way to look back, you know, and our stories change as we get older.
Sure.
Because you forget a few things and you add a few things. But when I was in school, a girl could play girls basketball, run track. I don't think there was a girls golf team.
And there wasn't a soccer team then.
It wasn't soccer, wasn't played anywhere back then.
Yeah.
And Miss Tullahoma had, in my senior year, I was MC, and we had 126 people in Miss Tullahoma.
How amazing.
Well, there was no other way for a girl to get recognition. See, and now there's so many ways that a young woman can find something that she likes to do and go out and try to excel at that. And back then, there just weren't that many things that were available for a young lady to be involved in.
That's true.
Newspaper, and in writing and that kind of stuff. But other than that, home ec. And now young women can do anything they want to do.
Do they still teach home ec in school?
I don't know. I don't think so.
And I think that's a shame.
I think it's a shame.
Because when I was in college, I loved to go to where the home ec girls worked. You know, they'd stay in this big house at MTSU, and they did all the cooking there.
Right.
And so we got to be my friends and I got to be good friends with the
home ec girls.
Home ec girls.
Well, you know, I remember when I graduated, Mr. McClure was principal at that point, and he and I were friends. And after I went to college, my first year, I was over at his house, and he said, okay, tell me what we're not doing to get you ready to go to college. And I said, nobody knows how to deal with money. You don't teach anybody simple economics to know how to, you know, you go to college, you've been cared for by your parents your whole life. You don't know how to balance it. A lot of people don't know about how to balance a checkbook. They don't know how to write a check, some of them. Of course, back then there weren't credit. Everybody didn't have a credit card. There weren't credit cards.
And that was.
So you had to physically know how to deal with your money, and most kids didn't.
And how to add and subtract without a calculator even.
Most kids didn't. So
I was never a genius with keeping my bank account straight. I'm close every time, and most of the time I have a little bit more money than I think I have, so I figure that's okay.
Sure it is.
I mean, I don't think I'm adding up these 35 cents I earn on my money.
Right, right.
You don't get more than that. Anyway.
Not anymore.
Not anymore, and it's kind of sad. It scares me.
But, you know, we brought up football. Tennessee didn't play this week, but they're number, I think, 8 or 7 in the nation.
That's great.
And they're playing really good football. The Titans won this weekend. Tullahoma High School won for homecoming.
Great.
And the homecoming was very nice.
That's great.
And
I bet it was.
Not a problem. Was seen.
And then there was the Queen and the court and all that.
Well, of course. Then they had a dance.
Good.
Those little girls were parading around in dresses and high heel shoes and
looking beautiful.
They were all excited.
And what a beautiful night.
It was gorgeous.
For it to happen.
It's been a great week.
It's been a great week.
So there's just all kinds of great things going on. You're having, one thing we need to let people know, because particularly people my age, because we were involved in the British invasion of music.
Right.
When the Beatles and all of those people
we had that
came to the United States.
Recently. And now we have another event coming up that I hope people will want to come out for, and that's the Motowners.
Right.
That's October 22nd, and that's part of the Performing Arts series. These people come from Florida. There's 11 of them on stage. They're singing, there's those quartets, you know, that...
Oh, the bebop and all of that. Four Tops. I remember seeing the Four Tops
and then
at UT.
there's there's a male quartet and a trio of girls, I believe, and they're fabulous. They're on, you can find them on the YouTube. At any time, just dial in Motowners, and there'll be they'll do some stuff. I think we're going to show a bit of it one of these days before too long.
Well,
anyway, tickets are on sale at South Jackson Civic Center in Tullahoma, Tennessee, right on Jackson Street.
That's the music that we went to school to.
Yeah.
That's the music when we went in high school and college. I mean, Motown was the thing.
When Motown hit, I loved the costuming. I loved the songs. I just thought they were so organized. They didn't put out anything that wasn't prepared.
Well, Clive Davis took people who were singing around garbage cans out on the street corners in the cities. And with beautiful harmony.
Oh, yeah.
And he took them and he dressed them up and he turned that ability to harmonize into Motown music.
And it's
still some of the greatest music.
It's still some of the greatest music and some of the greatest harmonies, and a lot of people still out there. Now, this group coming is not the real Motown group, because those are all very old people. This is
if they're still living.
You know, they're at least my age, and this group is a younger group, and they are a tribute group, and they do a fabulous job. So I hope people will come and support this.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, shoot. I love it. couple of things I want to bring up. How you like this? I got me some
Yeah, I was going
cheaters.
to ask you about your glasses and your eyes since
My
your
eyes
surgery.
are okay, except I can't see to read.
Oh, okay.
I'm up. Peggy and I visit each other sometimes at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning on text. Because we're
Right.
both up.
Yeah.
I wrote this at 1:45 a.m. Another night of strolling through the darkness, searching for a flicker of light, I passed numerous embers beside the path, each waiting for a breath of life that will allow them to ignite, revealing the illumination waiting within. There are many flowers along the way. Which one should I pick to add to my bouquet? Some are right, some are wrong. Some need more attention than others, but would fit beautifully into the arrangement. 'Tis a puzzlement. As always, procrastination becomes the stagnation of creation. So do something. The future and all of its adventures are waiting for a decision. So breathe, exhale, and take the next step. You might make some wrong choices, but the only bad decision is no decision. Life is a game where almost everyone gets to go to the next level if you play halfway fair. So forward, my friend, do something instead of nothing and see what's next. The embers will not stay hot and the blossom's petals will not last forever. Fix the future? You can't fix the future. Fix the future. The past is, well, it's the past. Understand the command forward.
That's great. You know what? As a child, I was taught, you may not always make the right decision, but for heaven's sake, make a decision and do something.
Life is arranged around relationships. Without them, one would be lost. Every thought we have involves a relationship with something. Friends, a love, family, enemies, acquaintances, a car, a pet, a tree, the world, your faith. How lonely would it be without them? Lonely enough not to exist? Good or bad, thank God for relationships.
Yeah, life would be sad, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and I say that to say, friend or foe, don't let your thought process turn a friend into an enemy.
Great comment. So many people.
We are so divided at this time.
Today.
This is a book called Uncommon by Tony Dungy, a great football coach, a great life coach. He wrote this for young black men. And the word uncommon means you be uncommon. Don't be part of the herd. Don't be influenced by other people into changing who you are into what they want you to be. You be the one that's uncommon.
One that's uncommon.
Don't be common.
I have a brass plaque that I choose to be uncommon.
Yeah, so you want to read a wonderful book. You know, a young person, I give this book to several young people. I've probably bought 15 or 20 of these to give to some young knuckleheaded boys headed off to college.
Right. I mean, it's important to not be afraid to be the one that says no or the one that says yes.
Be who you are.
Be who you are and make your own decisions.
Not what someone else wants to make you.
Don't be led by whatever.
Someone who's telling you to do something that you don't feel is right or wrong.
Exactly.
You know, be uncommon.
Don't be afraid.
Great book. Go by and pick it up. With that said, we'll be back after these messages.
Hi there, this is Terry Stroop, Stroop's Accurate Refrigeration. Summer's about to wind down, fall's right around the corner. It's time to get signed up for your fall maintenance checks, and let's get out and support our local high school football this year. Let's go, Cats.
There's a lot of talk about the risks associated with the COVID-19 vaccine, but the reality is, it's safer than going for a run. Give it a shot. Find a free appointment today at covid19.tn.gov.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
Parkview Senior Living, active, independent senior living at its finest.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
Hello everyone, I'm John Rickman.
And this is Pat Welch, and John, today is segment 42 of Conversations with John and Pat.
Well, since we've done this show, this jacket has been sitting back here, and each time it does, almost brings a tear to my eye.
I can understand.
Because I think about East Junior High, that's where I started. It was the year of August of 1969-70. And I'm going to play a song. It was one done by Ray Charles. I won't do all of the song, but I'll do enough of it for you to remember the song. Oh, it's crying time again, you're gonna leave me. I can see that faraway look in your eye. I can tell by the way you hold me, darling, that it won't be long before it's crying time. Oh, they say that absence makes the heart grow fonder, fonder, and tears are only rain to make love grow. My love for you could never grow no stronger if I live to be 100 years old. Oh, it's crying time again, you're gonna leave me. I can see that faraway look in your eye. I can tell by the way you hold me, darling, it won't be long before it's crying time. Oh, it won't be long before it's crying time.
Man, John, you just...
It's not as good as Ray Charles'
version. You got
version.
the whole studio a little misty there.
Let me tell you, the reason I do that song is because back at East Junior High School, early 70s, that song was popular. And if East would beat West, or vice versa, then one of the students from the school that won that night would call in to Ben's Jordan at WJIG. Mr. Jordan, we'd like for you to play Crying Time for the West Junior High football team because East Junior beat West last night. And little did I know when I came to Tullahoma that East was least and West was best.
Well, see, children went to East, so I got conflicted. I went to West, and I was very aware of that saying and believed it to the depths of my heart.
Mr. Wood, he corrected that by saying the least of East can beat the best of West.
Right.
He came along and added to that, so that's what we use from then on. Like I said, I followed Kelton Garner over there, and then Milner Carden was before that.
Right. You came the year that my class went to the high school.
Yes.
We went to our sophomore year there, and Coach Garner came to Tullahoma our 7th grade year, and he stayed at East for the 7th, 8th, 9th grade years of what was my classmates when we got to the high school, and then he used to say he graduated from East with our class.
Great guy.
Great guy.
And Milner, you know, you and I became affectionate to a large degree with Milner when we were in Rotary together with him. We would play pranks on him and tease him and this sort of thing, and he enjoyed that more than anything else. But last night,
he went to the high school as track coach.
He did.
And that's when
the first track coach over there. And I got to say that Coach Carden left me some good instruction as to what to look for in track, how to beautify the sites in which we did long jumping, shot putting, and discus and all that sort of thing. And we were very successful in our track program. I got one picture in just a minute we'll show. But if Philip will put up that first slide of the coaches that we had. That was Jerry Milton in the center there, and this might have been my second year. Tommy Allen on the left, and that's me on the right, and we were all young guys.
Jerry came that same year to start with?
Jerry came a year before I got there, so he came 68, and then Tommy had been there as a teacher for a good while, and then and later on began coaching, you know, and did real well in the middle school.
Yeah, before that, he'd coached at the first Pop Warner League, which grew into the Mullins League.
He coached the Bulldogs.
Coached the Bulldogs, and it was a 2-team league. There's just the Bulldogs and the Rebels. They played each other about 3 times, and then went somewhere, and both teams played. But it was a
Tommy stayed with a single wing. I think he was a single wing. He wanted to do what Dub Cooper did, I guess. You know, he was he knew about that high school program.
Right.
And Jerry Milton, I kind of think Jerry might be in Murfreesboro at one time. I know he sold mortgage insurance, this sort of thing. I have seen him a time or two. There was one night that I sat with him at a Riverdale basketball game over there in Murfreesboro, and Mary, my daughter, scored 41 points that night against Riverdale.
Wow.
I was never so excited that she did that, and my old coach friend was sitting there next to me.
Take it.
She does that every night. You know, Jerry, she does that every night.
Well-trained and great genes.
Good genes, that's right. Last night, ate supper with the Romeos at Gondola.
What's Romeo? What group's that now?
It stands for Real Old Men Eating Out, Pat.
With emphasis, I would assume, on old.
Yeah, and we were there, and I saw 2 of my former athletes and students, Tommy Hill and Lee Deckelman, young man that legends. And I tell you, it's so nice. And I say this for all these young men that I see, or young ladies, either one, the affection we show toward one another is just tremendous. You know, they remember me as tyrannical in a lot of ways, and then they had
both of those needed.
Did I say that word right? I don't use that very often.
But both of them needed a tyrant.
They did. They did.
And I had the pleasure of coaching both of them's boys in youth wrestling, and
they're good young men. They went through a lot, I know. But then there's another picture I'm going to show. This was the second year that I taught, and this is the track team that won the conference title. And I don't have, I can't see that plain enough. I should have had that picture with me to go over. I know one of the boys in the center there is Bobby Miles, who just recently passed away, and we'll miss Bobby. I think he was 61, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct.
And, you know, there's several in there, and I'm sorry I can't see it that great, but you'll find that a lot of familiar faces of kids who are still around. And some of my managers in there were just as
some of them. One of the managers we saw was at Bentley.
Yeah,
it was a manager at the high school, and he did a really nice job.
You know, there was a Dale Womack who was a manager for me along the way, and he wound up being a fireman in Cookville. And he passed away, but
no, that was Bruce. Bruce Womack.
Bruce Womack, but I have him right. I had said the name wrong, but it was Bruce Womack that passed away, and he was a good manager and wound up being a fireman. Roy Branch was a manager of mine. He wound up being a fireman. Richard Chastain did the same. I'm not sure if I'm just creating good firemen. You know, they learn to take care of.
I'm bragging on Bruce a little bit more. Bruce was graduated at the high school to be a trainer, and in the 60s and 70s, to get that training position when you were a senior was a kind of a lofty position that you were a rung ahead of the managers.
Yeah.
And he did well enough to where he got a really nice scholarship at Tennessee Tech as a trainer, and that got him into the.
He was well thought of in the Cookville area.
He sure was.
And when he got cancer, he people had benefits for him and such as that. So Pat, it's been good talking about Old East Junior High School, and we wished for a lot of more times that we could have let them play the song Crying Time, because we loved it when we called in the radio station. Bands play Crying Time for the West Junior High School team.
A similar song that Coach Osteen was famous for. He, if you remember, when Coach Osteen, that was from Chapel Hill, and one of your buddies, he was at the high school in the early 60s, and your principal at East.
Yeah.
But he was a football coach and baseball. He was assistant football to Coach Cooper, and he was a head baseball coach in the early 60s. And at that time, when you got your report card, you carried your report card from class to class. And he had a gentleman in his class named Nabob Simmons who had a real deep voice and was a good singer. And if you didn't have a C, if you had something less than a C, he had Nabob come up by his desk just standing there, and he'd say, now if it was me, he'd say, "Come on up, Pat Welch," and Nabob hit it. And he would sing, what was the verse?
See the big man cry, mama.
And then he'd put a D or F on there and send you back.
We got to go, Pat. It's been good.
That ought to be plenty. That ends up segment 42 of the conversation with John and Pat. And if we're able to return, we'll be here next week. Thank you.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat, with John and Pat.
Clayton's has been Tullahoma's shoe store for over 120 years, and Florence Hall continues that tradition today. We're the only shoe store in town that starts with measuring your foot to make sure you get the perfect fit in a quality shoe. That includes narrow through wide widths for men, women, and children. Clayton Shoes, the family shoe store you'll love.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
My husband was diagnosed with a spinal infection. He lost his ability to swallow and the movement of his legs.
I couldn't turn over in bed, I couldn't walk, I couldn't eat.
They were just wonderful in the treatment and care they gave my husband.
I regained my mobility where I was able to go home.
It is miraculous.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
STEM is everywhere, like here, behind the scenes of The Walking Dead.
When we break down clothes, we tumble it with trisodium phosphate, rock salt, and dish detergent.
We stitched together images of our model and created a 3D set that can be walked through in a VR headset.
We're able to turn 12 walkers into 1,000 walker boards.
STEM can create new worlds on and off the screen. What will you make with STEM? Get inspired at shecanstem.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're here today with our fire chief, Mr. Ken Pearson, and it is Fire Prevention Month.
Yes, sir, it is.
And you had some very interesting facts about that.
Our Fire Prevention Week is October 9th through 15th this month. We've already started school talks within the community. We'll continue those school talks probably all the way through November. But we do recognize October 9th through 15th as the Fire Prevention Week. At the present time, this is the 100th year of Fire Prevention Week. By NFPA.
100th year.
100th year. Back in 1922, they started the Fire Prevention Week program. In 1925, Calvin Coolidge made it a national recognized program. And it's the longest nationally recognized program in safety that's around it
in the country.
Yep. So
that's really good. What you do so much. The fire department and our police department as well. But the fire department does so much to help the community understand, the problems that might come about, and you have a smoke alarm program.
Yes,
you have so many different things that you do to try to get people ready when something bad happens.
One of the things that we believe within our department is our fire prevention program is what helps us to better serve our community. We do go out and fight fires, but preventing fires is a lot better job than having to fight fires.
Oh, heavens, yes.
When we can prevent that damage to homes, damage to the citizens, life safety is very important. So we try to do a very good job of doing a lot of different safety talks, different safety initiatives within our community. You were talking about our smoke alarm program. At the present time, of course, it's October, it's time to change the batteries.
Right.
If you have a smoke alarm that has a battery in it, most of the smoke alarms that we have installed over the last 10, 12 years have.
Do you have an idea how many you've installed?
It's upwards of 6,000 smoke alarms that we've installed.
Isn't that something? Isn't that great?
We were recently presented an award for fourth in the state for smoke alarm installations this year. So it was very proud.
Tullahoma's on top again.
Accomplishment. Melissa Allen, she is our community risk reduction coordinator, and she does an excellent job of coordinating that and getting our employees out to install those for our citizens. We've had a bit of a shortage with our smoke alarms recently, like pretty much everything's getting shorted.
Sure.
So we finally got a order in. They finally sent us some just recently. So we're back at it daily, or most days we're putting in smoke alarms somewhere. We've already replaced smoke alarms that we put in 10 years ago. So we're starting to replace those now.
Isn't that something?
That's something else.
Has there been, just from a person who doesn't in that business, has there been a lot of advancement in the smoke alarm itself? Technology's just so taking
the smoke
over
alarm
everything.
itself has not changed over the years. They pretty much had it down pat when they first come out with it. So they've done a really good job with it. Now, like I said, on our smoke alarms that we install, they don't use 9-volt batteries anymore. They have a lithium-ion battery in them that is supposed to last 10 years. A smoke alarm's life is 10 years. So at 10 years, they should be replaced.
Okay.
So when I say change your batteries now, that's for smoke alarms that may still have the 9-volt batteries in them. Another thing to look at when you pull your smoke alarm down to change the battery in it, look at the date on it. If it's 10 years old, you need to be replacing it. You can call us anytime at Station 1, and Melissa will set that up.
I mean, can somebody just go by and pick one up?
Yes, no. With our program, since it is a Tennessee state program, we have to do a lot of tracking with it. We have to get information from people, and we're supposed to install them for the program to be efficient. They are tracking that on the Tennessee database, so we've got when you look at our town, we have a nice dark dot where our town is because we've spread it through the town real well. And we continue, like I said, we continue to install new smoke alarms to people, and we're also replacing smoke alarms that we've already installed.
So what else is cooking down there? Speaking about cooking, everybody always talks about, and there's commercials on television about firemen cooking.
We have some pretty good cooks.
You still have some pretty good cooks.
We still have some pretty good cooks.
Now I know there was a time years ago when we were all young, we'd go by the fire hall and eat some chili or visit with our friends.
My father used to do the same thing.
Yeah.
They call him up, said, "You in today?" And he said, "Yep, I'm in." So
yeah.
you go down to the fire hall.
Rodriguez is cooking. Oh, he cooks good.
Yeah. So we were, as far as the fire station and everything, I lost that train of thought, what I was talking about. I had something, and then I lost it.
On the train.
Started talking about food. I don't know
there
right now.
There it goes.
Here we go.
Hey, I want to give a shout out also to Melissa. What a great young lady, Melissa Allen, and she's one of those people that when you have someone like Melissa on your team, you're a lucky individual because she's one of those people that dress. She takes care of stuff.
She does.
And she does it very well. She's a very good manager. And it's always great to have somebody like Melissa around. And I know she's been recognized numerous times, but I just want to recognize her myself because she's the one that I get in touch with to schedule you or to get something happening for Alzheimer's Tennessee or something that's going on that we need, even when Fran was working at South Jackson, and she's always right on task.
She is all the firefighters just love and adore her. She's such a good asset to us as far as what you were saying.
Right.
She manages all those programs and continues to continue to promote safety. We just recently started a Facebook post every Monday. We put a safety message out. It could be anything. We don't just do fire safety at the fire department. We do all life safety. So we look at hiking safety. We look at camping safety. We look at just different things that you can do throughout your life. Leaf burning safety.
Bonfire safety.
It is. One of the things that when I lost my train of thought was I was talking about the Fire Prevention Week.
Right.
The slogan for this year is "Fire won't wait. Plan your escape." So make sure that everybody is planning an escape plan at their homes, at their businesses, at schools. I know the schools. We've already been to some fire alarms at the schools. They're doing a great job of getting kids out and accounted for in a timely manner. Everybody should have a fire escape plan at their, like I said, at their home, at their businesses. Should know where we should meet. A lot of times, whenever you're at home, something happens. Have a meeting place out by the mailbox. That way, everybody can be accounted for. So if we get there in an emergency situation, we know that everybody's out of the house. We know that we're not doing a search and rescue, and we go straight to what we're doing, putting out the fire. So having a good escape plan is a really good idea. Something else I wanted to talk about was our Fire Pup program. Recently at the board meeting, we announced the Fire Pup program again for this year. We've been doing it since 1988.
That's just great.
34 years the Fire Pups have been part of our organization. The program itself started in 1986. But in 1988, we started in that program. We've had the Fire Pup since 1988. It continues to be a great asset to our department. The kids love them. Last year, we were able to also, with that program, introduce Safety Pup to the police department. So the police department were very welcoming of the Safety Pup, so now they have Safety Pup and we have Fire Pup. And if this airs today, which is October 4th, we have National Night Out is tonight with the police department. You should be able to see Safety Pup out there and Fire Pup, and police will be out there, EMS will probably be out there. I know the fire department.
Now where is that going to be?
You would ask me that.
Where are they going to be?
You would ask me that.
I would.
And I'm trying to remember right now. Geez,
is it in Manchester?
No, it's in Tullahoma. That's Tullahoma. And Tullahoma Police Department is putting it on tonight. So it's National Night Out, and it's just.
Well, it's tonight.
It's tonight.
It's not that big. You'll find it.
I can probably find it.
Find it, but I want to ask you one more question.
Go ahead.
Before off subject, but on subject as well. You know, we have been having a lot of discussion about our 2040 plan.
Yes, sir.
In the city. And I know that because you were talking about doing things to prevent prevention. And we have subdivisions in this town with one road in and one road out. Cul-de-sacs at the back.
Yes, sir.
And I know that the planners that you were involved in planning.
Yes, sir.
And I know that a lot of these new subdivisions are going to have a second way out of them. To where if there is a fire or a disaster halfway in the subdivision, people won't be locked in the back end of a subdivision and not be able to get out.
Fire codes have changed over the years,
right,
and
right.
As the years go along, new fire codes are put in, and things are, most fire codes or building codes, things of that nature, are put into place because something bad happened.
Sure.
So when something bad happens, we end up start doing something about it. So one of the things that the codes has in our egress and ingress for subdivisions is two ways.
Another way out.
As if they're over 30 units.
Right.
So up to 30 units, they don't have to have two ways and two ways out. They have one entrance, and that is fine. But if it gets over 30 units at the present time, we have to have two ways in and out. And a lot of things that's because maybe a tree falls over one side, or something happens to the road on one side, you're able to go through another way and get to the same house.
Well, even if somebody's house, there's a big house fire, and you've got the road blocked with your machines. Fraser McEwen Park.
Fraser McEwen Park. That's what I was going to say, and then I didn't want to do the wrong one. So I was like, "Ooh, that might be bad."
But I just wanted people to know, because we're having so much conflict over this 2040 plan, that the fire department and the fire codes are wrapped into this plan, and before anything gets stamped for approval, it has to be something that passes these fire codes. And so if you're worried about something, there'll be plenty of time for discussion when that subdivision or that neighborhood or that new development gets started.
Any new subdivision that comes into the community is put through all the departments.
All the departments, and they'll be
look
up
at
to fire
code. We have to be a code. We have to have our roads at the right width. We have to have the entrances at the right width. We have to have the amount of entrances
and just
correctly.
Because it was okay 25 years ago to do that doesn't mean it's okay now.
Unfortunately, no.
No.
You can't do it. So it is
Chief,
different.
Thanks for being here.
Hey, thank you, sir.
these guys do a great job for us in our community. They're involved in so many ways with the education of our youth, the education of all of us, and how to protect ourselves and allow them to save lives, and do all you can to help these guys and girls do their job, because they're dedicated to our community. We couldn't be more fortunate to have the people that we have working for us, and we just want to thank you.
We'll appreciate that.
Okay, buddy. See you next time, and don't be a stranger.
Just call me.
Okay. We'll be back after these messages.
Hi there, this is Terry Stroop, Stroop's Accurate Refrigeration. Summer's about to wind down, fall's right around the corner. It's time to get signed up for your fall maintenance checks, and let's get out and support our local high school football this year. Let's go, Cats.
For many senior citizens, life looks like this, but it doesn't have to. When you make your home at Parkview Senior Living, life after retirement takes on a whole new meaning. Daily exercise options, fun outings, happy hour, game nights, movies and popcorn, arts and crafts, enjoying friends over chef-prepared meals. Parkview Senior Living, where you're always home, but you're never home alone.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment.
He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching.
That's right. No employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
I was skeptical about getting the COVID-19 vaccine. There are a lot of opinions being shared. But I had the chance to talk with my doctor about my concerns. He told me the vaccines are backed by decades of research, and that the vaccines are proven safe and effective. Now I'm protected and ready to put this pandemic behind us. Join the millions of Tennesseans who have decided to give COVID-19 vaccines a shot. Visit covid19.tn.gov to find an appointment today.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and we have one of our favorite guests on today, Mr. Jackie Duncan, and welcome back. And Peggy and I are going to double team him. we're going to squeeze all out of him we can. She was asking him about promoting Motown.
Yeah.
When you were a kid, how old were you when the Four Tops and the Supremes and all of that?
I was very young. It was during my
20s?
Huh?
20s or teens?
That was probably early 60s, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a teen. I don't know
how teen you were.
How teen I was at the time.
A young teen,
yeah.
right.
Yeah, I was, I love that. That was fun with me. Motown.
Yeah, it was fun.
I'm just mad because I hadn't thought about it.
Yeah, I know.
I was too young though. I know, so that was the thing.
But I was telling Peggy, you know, I remember the Four Tops being at UT, and I went to that concert, and they were just.
I think they came to MTSU too.
The dance steps, everything they did. To me, they were
precision.
They were my favorites of all.
Well, you know, you hear talk about the Chitlin circuit. And we had somebody here in town that was had a restaurant, the Casablanca.
Oh yeah.
It used to be Jack Bond on the Casablanca. And Jack
remember?
And his sister married my uncle, my daddy's brother. And so anyway, but we've always had been close in the families, and but his Jack had that his attraction, his restaurant was part of that Chitlin circuit, and you know, a lot of people just don't realize it, don't think about it maybe, but I think the Impressions were here at one time.
Oh yeah.
And that's been a long time ago. Etta James.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Oh boy.
At last.
I'm telling you, and they've had some big name people here, and Walter Hamilton used to play with some of them, quite a few of them.
Walter Hamilton is
Walter came here with a band
fabulous
and stayed,
band.
and we are so glad he did because he has such a dynamic family, you know, and all the kids have sing or play instruments or whatever, and it's just been a blessing. They've been a blessing to our community.
Did you get to see Isaac, the younger one?
I did.
You know, well, he came and did a concert because I invited him out in front of South Jackson Civic Center. But I remembered Isaac from the time he was like this high,
I did too.
playing the drums on
2
TV
years
in
old,
Nashville.
playing drums.
It was amazing.
Oh boy, just a dynamic family, period. And one of the things we were talking about last time was got to the very end of it, and I was telling about bullying.
Yes.
And you wanted me to come back and expound on that a little bit. And I thought about it quite a bit, and you know, the bullying part, we don't have much of it, thank God. But every now and then you find somebody that's going to be a bully and it maybe came up short on something at home.
Right.
I don't know, love at home, but I think the greatest commandments that Jesus gave us was to love Him first, love with all your heart and all your mind and soul, and love one another. And that's where we come up short. I
agree with that.
We don't love one another enough, and we just do a lot of things. And sometimes, you know, if you don't love your child, if he doesn't feel love, he or she doesn't feel love. And I've always had love in my home, thank God for that. And lived with my grandparents and my mom and dad and grandma and granddad, and we all lived there together with 5 kids, and he'd add on when they needed to add on, and you know, and add a bedroom on or whatever else. And just it's been a blessing to be a close-knit family and to do things together and to love one another. It starts at home, and when it gets where it starts spreading out of home, then it spreads everywhere all over the world.
And I think people have forgotten sometimes how to forgive.
Yeah, you're right.
If you can't forgive, it only hurts you.
It does. It does.
And that's a sad thing.
It does.
Well, let's do the bullying. Tell us what we're getting on bullying.
When you said something about that, made me think about something else that anyway. Well, but the bullying thing, I was saying last time that we talked about Zig Ziglar and his association with Tullahoma. Sister Jessie. Sister Jessie was approached. People used to come down. Sister Jessie was a faith healer. She was my cousin. She was a faith healer. Lived right over here on Washington Street on the other side of the railroad track. That one over there. Not Washington Street, but Atlantic. That Atlantic, the other side of the railroad tracks. Well, anyway, Sister Jessie would people knew in Nashville and all around that she was a faith healer. And so they would come down from Nashville to get her to pray over them and things like that. And a lot of, I guess most people didn't know Sister Jessie was a reformed alcoholic, but she knew the Lord. And she's got sisters in her family, had sisters in her family that were also ministers. One used to minister at the Cook County Jail in Chicago. And so most of them left here and went to Chicago, but there were a lot of ministers in that family. And I had ministers in my family on my mother's side. And
I think you're a minister.
Dad's side. Well, we're all ministers of sorts. And well, it's just a message that we give, and like I said, sometimes it ain't the right message, maybe if you're bullying, but bottom line is that Zig Ziglar's mother told him a long time ago that you will treat everybody right.
Exactly.
Said, you know, you're going to a just God when it's all over, and you treat everybody right down here as equal, or else, you know, that you'll stand before God that you don't know what he looks like.
Did you ever find yourself bullied?
By what?
Did you ever find yourself bullied by anyone?
Maybe almost on the verge of it, maybe, I think, but I've never actually been bullied. I've been a big kid all my life.
Yeah.
Anybody mess with me too much back then?
Think twice before they mess with you.
Yeah, I started really growing when I was 12 years old, I think, and I was growing out of everything. And my mother told me, she said, boy, if you don't stop growing, so I'm going to have to buy you Huskies.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, no, Mama. But anyway, from that point on, I started growing up and not out. I was growing out a little bit, but I was growing up too. But it worked out. So,
how tall are you, or were you that you're tallest?
Well, my tallest, I was like 6'3".
Wow, that is so tall, man.
I'd say 6'3 and a half.
Yeah.
You always stretch it where you can.
So the first question is always, did you play basketball?
Oh yeah, I played basketball. I did well in basketball. In fact, our former, can't think of his name right now, but the former DA our DA now.
It's okay.
I can't think of his name at the moment, and I'm sorry, my friend, but he sent me information. He sent me old clippings from the newspaper back when I was in high school.
Well, with you playing basketball.
Yeah, when I was playing basketball.
That's great.
Peggy Northcutt used to collect all these things, used to write the articles, really, for the Tullahoma News.
Peggy Northcutt's one of the smartest women I ever knew.
She was. And still got a lot of old things, I guess papers and things. I'd love to get copies of someday. I'm praying that her daughter's going to give me access to them. And I'm getting me some copy equipment to do some real copying to archive stuff, you know.
It needs to be done.
It needs to be done.
It really needs to be done.
I want to be the historian that did some good things and that helped keep things going. So, but anyway, my grandparents, they gave us more love, and Mom and Dad did, and I never thought about bullying anybody, because they always told us, you know better than nobody else. And I even sung a song about that one time.
Yeah.
There's a group I used to sing where it says, don't never look down on a man unless you're helping him up.
So, that's a great line.
It is.
Don't ever look down on a man unless you're lifting him up.
Yeah, so, and I sung that old song for a long time, and we don't sing it anymore, but the bottom line is that I wanted, on top of this, before we run out of time, I wanted to mention something about the Tennessee Promise Program. You know, if anybody that's bored and got nothing to do, you become involved with the Tennessee Promise Program. I had 10 students this year because they couldn't find enough volunteers, and so
that's the mentor.
The mentor, yes. Yeah, and so anyway, we're getting back into it. I think we're going to start having regular meetings at the high school and stuff like they used to, and hopefully you get to meet the kids that you're supposedly mentoring, so that's a good thing. So, but I'd like to get more people involved in that. They need the help. And Randy Board, who is the president of UT. Now, I worked with him when he was in the government, in the state government, before he went to UT, and so he's a good fellow. He heads this up now. So, but anyway, I just wanted to. I missed the times when I was city alderman that the mayor would bring in kids from the high school, and we would honor them in some sort of way, whatever. And I used to always write a little poem for them. And this
do you have one?
Yeah, I'd like to read this one. Says, "Your destiny lies with you." And I've given this to several of them back years ago. Says there's such a big world that awaits you, so many places and people to see, but don't let bad choices or others' agendas influence you to be less than you can be. Don't ever forget the support group behind you that helped you to get to where you are now. All those who have encouraged and loved you are praying that you will make it somehow. Temptation and evil will tempt you and to try you every single day of your life. But faith in God and good common sense will lead you and guide you to do what is right. Don't give in to cheap sensations that are pleasurable moments that soon will fade. Don't entertain things that can change your future and the pleasure be gone by the light of day. Always know life is about choices, and you have the final say for you. And know that when you've made good decisions and done your best, dreams do come true. So
that is beautiful.
Anyway, but this was a congratulations poem to every class.
Yeah.
And this my last one I did was to the class of 2021, I believe. But let's always like to write something for.
That's wonderful.
Kids,
yeah.
And to inspire them to bless me. I know we're about to run out of time. And anyway, there's so many things that, even for people who are now that are sitting around contemplating what to do and never got started. Here's one for you. Said, now's your time. You've put it off long enough. Now the time has come. You've thought it out. You're ready. The preparation time is done. The things you've been waiting for to make your dream come true are all prepped up and ready and are waiting now on you. You trusted and believed that one day you would attain it. Now faith the size of a mustard seed is all you need to claim it. Said your dream is part of God's plan, something you feel you must do. Life is short. Now it's your time, and your dream is waiting on you.
That's beautiful.
I had to squeeze that in right quick.
You did good.
You did a fabulous job, Jackie.
You did good.
I love what you have to say.
Thank you. I just like to encourage people. You know, we all were wasting time.
A lot of wasted time.
Mm-hmm. And then wind up coming up short. You know, life is short. Life is short. There's not enough time for us to drag our feet. Let's put it like that. So you always need to be doing something. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
After I wrote this Sunday after the service, because this is what it said to me. It's called Help. As I asked the Lord for help, I realized I have been well served. So the only help I need is that which teaches me to share what I have received.
Amen.
How well said. I like that.
You know, so like you say, don't look down on somebody unless you're looking down to help them up.
That's right.
That's a great.
And we've all been given
that should be the
way
statement
more
of the
than
day.
we need.
That's right.
You know, we will never get all we want, but we'll never not get all we need.
And we better figure out that life is not forever here in this form, and we're going to be going somewhere sooner or later, more likely sooner. So I'm trying to get ready for that. I'm trying to get ready for my next place.
There you go.
Yeah, preparing now.
And it's there.
That's
it's
right.
there.
That's
all right, folks, we'll be right back after this commercial break.
The Bookshelf in Tullahoma is the fundraising arm of the Coffee County Literacy Council. Since 1988, the Literacy Council's goal and purpose has been to support and promote adult basic education in Coffee County. We enable individuals to complete their high school equivalency exam, which helps them get better jobs or continue into higher education. The Bookshelf at 114 Southwest Atlantic Street in Tullahoma is where we sell used books, which are donated to us by the community. Come see us, bring your books to donate, and join us as you find every genre of books that you can imagine.
MacArthur Manor Assisted Living is passionate about creating better experiences for our Manchester seniors. Our residents describe us in a few words.
Welcoming.
When you walk through the doors at MacArthur Manor, we'll treat you like family. Caring. Through high standards of personalized care, we help residents live life to its fullest. Engaging. With a wide range of life-enriching activities, there is something for everyone at MacArthur Manor. With our residents and staff now vaccinated, call us today to schedule your safe and personalized tour.
I had a knee replacement, so they've got me in life care, which I'm very, very thankful for. I couldn't garden, I couldn't do my flower beds, I can't chase my little dogs. I have been in several therapy sessions for knees and back, and that's the best therapist I believe I've ever been to. It's tremendous because I'm able to walk again, but if it wasn't for the care, I wouldn't be where I am.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate, Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
Do you love sports? Then you should know about STEM. Because maximizing nutrition, analyzing peak muscle performance, calculating the perfect shot, and more are all made possible by science, technology, engineering, and math. In fact, there are more careers than ever in sports science. So if you have a passion for sports, then think about getting involved in STEM and improve everyone's game on and off the field. Get inspired at SheCanSTEM.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
You know, ladies and gentlemen, a couple of weeks ago, I had an interview with our superstar from Winchester, Hunter Wilkanowski, AKA Hunter Girl. And we're so proud of her. And I had some people say, boy, I wish I'd have seen that. I wish I'd have seen that. What we're going to do is we're just going to play it again for you because we're proud of her. And I was extremely excited to have her in our studio and bring this interview to you. So here's Hunter Girl. Hello, folks. Welcome back, and I'm glad to have with me today our local star, Hunter Girl.
Hey!
How are you?
Doing good. How are you doing?
I'm glad to have you in the studio. You are getting ready to do this, I think, Saturday night?
Yes, yeah, Saturday.
You have a show, and it is going to be where it's at the roller rink, I think, isn't it?
I think so.
It's out past behind Lowe's.
Yes, behind Lowe's.
And this is a fundraiser for Ronald McDonald House.
Yes, and Eli Grow.
And Eli Grow. The Grows, Cassie, and they're going to be out there selling gelato, and all of that's going to go to the Grow Foundation, Eli Grow, and Tony, Cassie and Tony. And so how did that come about? How did that happen that you're doing that?
Well, they messaged me and everything and asked me to come, and so I'm so excited because this is the closest to hometown show, you know, since I've been off the show and getting to have everybody here. And my family's coming. It's my Nana's birthday that day too, so she's going to be coming out to the show and getting to play full band. So that'll be incredible.
Now, do you have a band that you keep? That's the same people every time you have a band. They're your band.
Yeah.
How long have you had a band?
Well, you know, Nashville's kind of weird in a way because, you know, people interchange and everything because the schedules are so crazy. So I most of the time have the same guys, or if somebody has something already, then I'll switch somebody out. But this band's my band, and I've known them for a little bit. So when I got off the show, I was like, I need to put a band together fast, and so I called one of my best friends, Eric, and he was he used to be the bass player for Lindsay L. Another great country music artist, and he helped me get everybody together, and he's just been one of my best friends for a long time.
Well, you know, a joint friend of ours, Tim Daley.
Yes,
who I write with and have for years, and Tim plays Tootsies and around, but sometimes you need a band, and he has a band that he puts together, and I guess that's sort of common practice in Nashville because you don't always get to go somewhere where a band's required, or really it's too much to have a band in some of the smaller places.
Yes, yeah.
Do you like playing with a band?
Oh yeah, I love it way better than just playing by myself and everything. It just depends on the thing, because most of the times that I'm playing by myself, it's usually like a writer's round. But I'm so excited to play with the band and getting to sing some new songs I've been working on, and getting to see everybody. You know, I lived 15 minutes from Tullahoma.
Oh yeah,
getting to hang out with everybody that I grew up with and just have a good time.
So I think that's going to have is that going to have a meet and greet?
I assume I'll just be hanging out. I'll be like, hey guys.
You're doing what you're told.
I'll be eating gelato, and helping and hoping we raise a bunch of money.
Raise a bunch of money. That's
so
right.
That'll be
That's
incredible.
Right. How are things going since the show?
It's been awesome. I kind of hit the ground running when I got back and hadn't really stopped, but it's been so much fun, and just getting to come home and see my family, because it was it's been a year process. American Idol was, and kind of taking everything in this past year.
And you're a hometown family girl.
Yes, yeah.
And I noticed you say Nana, your Nana.
Yes, my Nana.
And that's your grandmother?
Yeah, that's my grandma. That's on my mom's side.
On your mom's side.
Nana and Paul, they live up towards like Monteagle, Tennessee.
Nana and Paul.
Near Palmer.
It don't get any more country than that, folks. You think this girl's not the real deal? I guarantee you she is. And that brings about another subject.
Yeah.
Has she been outcoming and forthcoming with some advice for you throughout this whole process that you're going through?
Oh, Nana? Oh, well, Nana, I think Nana's advice is she just like have as much fun as you want to. And she was just like, it's encouraging me. She was like, it's been such a fun year. You worked so hard. And she was like, we need to come back and celebrate and buy all the sparkly jackets and sparkly boots and have as much fun as we can.
The boots are great. Boots are great.
Nana, I got to play the Opry a few weeks ago, and Nana was there, and she wore a sparkly jacket, and she was like, it's all for you.
And she's the one who's the Redbird, who talks about the Redbird?
Yeah, Nana, like everybody in my family talked about Redbirds growing up, so.
But she's the one that evidently told your mother.
Yes, yeah, talking to Mama and everything.
So that's advice.
Yes.
That's some wonderful advice.
Giving me great advice.
That ended up being a #1 song. Thanks, Nana.
Thanks, Nana.
Well, you going to play something for us here now?
Yeah, I can. Oh.
I'm trying to get all the music out of her I can while I got her here.
Should I do a new one or should I do Redbird?
You can do Redbird again if you want to, because this is a different show. Thanks, Nana, for Redbird.
Mama told me when I was a kid, when a redbird flies, close your eyes, make up. Right around the time my faith went missing, praying for an angel, but the wings look different. God, if you're listening, you just send me home now. 'Cause I can use a redbird right now, one from the other side of the clouds. I'm feeling lost and empty. Let me know that you're still with me. By sending someone up in heaven down to earth for just a second. I know you know it's all gonna be alright. If it ain't too much, could you just give me a sign, Redbird?
this is going to be out at the roller rink behind Lowe's.
Yes.
Saturday night, the 17th.
Yes.
And you're going to be there. I think there's going to be Connor Rostel. I think, and his band is going to open up for you probably about 5 o'clock.
Yeah,
and
I
you're
think
going to be on about 7.
Yes,
7:30, something like
7
that.
o'clock, I think.
Okay, and it is for Ronald McDonald House.
Yes, and Eli
Grove.
I'm excited.
We're all excited to have an opportunity to see you. Dear, thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your talent with us and the world, and just get all you can get while you're there.
Oh, thank you so much.
Love you, and hope to see you soon.
Love you.
Okay.
Thank you.
We'll be back after these messages.
Smoking tobacco accounts for 3 of every 10 fire deaths in the United States.
Tullahoma Fire Department needs you en route to a structure fire, 202 Main Street. Heavy smoke showing. Neighbors advise child trapped inside.
Lighters, matches, and associated smoking paraphernalia are the leading cause of preschooler fire deaths. We as firefighters know that most structure fires can be prevented.
I've got one! I've got one! Command, this is primary search. We have a victim. Need EMS to meet us at the front door.
Please help us to give you a fighting chance. This can be prevented. Contact the Tullahoma Fire Department for a free home safety inspection.
What's a Tennessee vacation? It starts off like any road trip, and then, boom, adventure and thrills everywhere you look, which happens to be some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. Music here, history there, and all kinds of green in between. Come relax and unwind, or bring the crowd for some stargazing, or stargazing. Whatever you do, come hungry and expect an awesome soundtrack. It's all right here in Tennessee. We're playing your song. For a free vacation guide, visit tnvacation.com.
Come on. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. 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 Woo.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size.
Yeah.
Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, Peggy, we've had an interesting show today.
Yeah, we have.
We had last weekend was 41A Festival, or 2 weekends, not this weekend, but
And
4.
Do you know how many people came by any chance?
All they could get in
All
there.
they could
All they
squeeze
could
in.
squeeze in.
That's wonderful.
And our buddies, Utopia were there, and we captured some of that, and we want to close the show with Utopia.
Great.
See you next time.
Don't have to be
Mr. Will Butler, y'all.